All right, Cedar Crest Chargers, this video is a video based off of what Mr. Hudson had created as examples for a lot of our final assignments. I believe this video will be applicable to lessons 44 through 48. And so let's just take stock on the three examples and what we have. We have variables on both sides. So all examples have variables on both sides, and all examples have fractions in them. You can tell on example 1 we have fractional coefficients. So the coefficients are fractional, but we also have fractional constants on this one. So, you'll have a few problems that have that in it. Then we go to example 2. You have the, there are your constants, right there. And your coefficients are, again, fractional. So you've got that same theme happening there. And then example 3, oh my goodness, we have so many things going on here. We have to distribute, right? We have to multiply the negative 1/2 times the quantity. We have to multiply the 1/3 times the quantity on the right. Then we have to combine like terms. Then we have to solve with variables on both sides. Okay, so there's going to be a lot going on here. Let's go ahead and get started. We have example 1 here. And the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to get x's on one side. That's normally always the first move, unless you have to distribute or do things like that. So we have 12/3 x. We're going to add 12/3 x, and we're going to add 12/3 x. And that gives us... we can go from left to right. That gives me 16/3 x here. Remember, we still have net minus 5/6. That didn't change. We have our equal sign, and this is gone because we applied the inverse, right? And then we have a negative 1/6 left over. So now we're going to solve this just like we'd solve a two-stepper. We have minus 5/6. We're going to add 5/6 to that. We're going to add 5/6 to that. And that is canceled out. So we are left with 16/3 x equals negative 1/6, positive 5/6. That is a positive 4/6. And the very last move is multiplying by the reciprocal of 16/3. That's how we clear that out. Times 3/16 times 3/16. That makes 1x, and that makes 12/96. So x equals 12/96. You would want to reduce that in the end, but that's how you do that one. That's that example. Here is example 2. And again, like before, we are going to do some algebra to get our x's on one side. So that is the same move we did last time. That's gone, right? We have 11/12 x plus 8 left over here. Here's our equal sign. And we have 15 over here. Again, it is now just a two-step equation in which we are going to try to isolate for x. So now we have this. This is gone. We have 11/12 x here. And that equals 7. And then like before, how do we get rid of 11/12 times x? Multiply it by its reciprocal. Boom. Times 12/11 times 12/11. That gives you 1x right there. And 7 times 12 should be 84/11, right? So x is 84/11. Yeah, you can go ahead and simplify that. 11 goes into 84 7 full times. So 7 times 11 is 77 with 7/11 left over. So that's what x is right there. And then lastly, here we go. And this is the third time I had to do this video. The second time I did this video, I didn't make something negative that should have been negative. The first time I made this video, you could hear my wife in the background turning Alexa off because Alexa is running rampant in my house. So this is the third time. Hopefully I get this right the third time. See, students, even your teachers make multiple mistakes. So the first thing we have to do here is distribute the multiplication. You see that you've got that negative 1/2. We've got to multiply that here, and we got to multiply the 1/3 times all of that. And then we've got to keep everything together. So before we do that, please understand that this will change. This will change. Everything else will not. So let's go ahead and just bring down the negative 6v equals and the minus 6 here. And then to the left of it, we can write down what happens when we do our distributive property here. Negative 1/2 times negative 4v is a positive 2v. That's what you get right there. And then negative 1/2 times 10 is a minus 5. And then we're going to do the 1/3. 1/3 times v is 1/3 v. And 1/3 times negative 9 is negative 3. Okay, now we run into having to combine like terms. I know there's a lot going on here. There's our equal sign. And on the left-hand side, we have like terms, negative 6v and 2v. We're going to have to simplify or add together. And then on the right, we have negative 3 and negative 6, which can be added together. So let's go back to black here. 2 negative 6, that's negative 4v minus 5. And then we have 1/3 v minus 9. We have variables on both sides, so we're going to subtract 1/3 v here. We're going to subtract 1/3 v here. And what we have is negative 4 and 1/3 v minus 5 equals minus 9. Now it's just a two-step equation. Let's go with purple. Plus 5, plus 5. And this is where I goofed up last time, and you might goof up here too. That's gone. We have negative 4 and 1/3 v. And a negative 9 and 5, the last time I wrote 4, but it's not 4, it's negative 4. So my answer was wrong in the end. Okay? Now, normally at this stage we would multiply by the reciprocal to clear out the coefficient of the v. This one is a mixed number, so we're going to have to change the mixed number into an improper fraction. So we get negative 13/3 v, okay, and that equals negative 4. So how do you do that? 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus 1 is the 13. Just to give you a little review. How do I get rid of negative 13/3? Multiply by its reciprocal, negative 3/13 times negative 3/13, and that makes v. And negative 4 times negative 3 is a positive 12/13. Yes, Mr. Wallace did do it correctly the third time. Thanks, Chargers.